everybody, and welcome back to Night Brothers Commentary once again. Today we are going to be continuing the new U.S. Constitution series. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the representation and the election/appointment requirements for both the House and the Senate. So without further ado, let's get started. Essentially, the times, place, manner, and holding elections and/or appointments for representatives and senators must be determined by the state legislators. That doesn't really change. All candidates and members must be worth a combined total of personal and residential property worth at least $4,000, and also be a legal inhabitant of the state and/or territory that they represent and live there when Congress is not in session. However, they may live in the Capitol full-time when Congress is in session. Someone abroad may be born in a U.S. military base or embassy, but only if both parents were either natural or naturalized citizens of the U.S. At that point in time. No individual may serve in more than one chamber of Congress at the same time, nor can they serve more than a max of 18 years as a member of Congress if they desire to serve in both chambers. All seats in Congress belong to the parties and not necessarily the individual representatives and/or senators. And anyone who is a potential candidate for either chamber of Congress cannot be members of the state/territorial legislators, regardless of whether they are elected by the people or appointed by the state or territorial legislators. Now, any member of Congress may be disqualified if they fail to attend 2 consecutive sessions, become a citizen or subject of a foreign nation, is convicted of treason or felony, is declared bankrupt or insolvent, or ceases to be qualified in respect of property or of residence. Now, all of that is basically for both the House and the Senate. Now, for just the House, essentially there's going to be at least 435 total members, but no more than an equivalent total to the cube root of the total population of the United States for just states. Territories that are not necessarily recognized as states, such as Puerto Rico, Guam, the Northern Marianas Islands. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of that. They will all have one member that is not part of that limit that I just mentioned. And seats in the House will be elected by the people using open list proportional representation using the DeHaan-Jefferson method. Now, I'm not necessarily going to get into the gist of the Jefferson method just because it's a little bit complicated, but essentially the picture that I'm going to put up right here is essentially going to hopefully kind of explain that process for you. Now, when it comes to congressional districts, all districts will not be single member anymore. They will be multi-member districts, multi-member. And all districts must be drawn by either an independent commission or a commission with one representative from each political party that's registered with the federal government. Now, I should also mention that political party commission will only consist of 5 to 10 members, and those members are basically going to be based on the size of the overall membership, the overall registered membership that each party has. So basically, the top 5 political parties that have the highest number of registered membership, registered members, they will be the ones that will be appointed to that committee, essentially. Also, the member of those commissions cannot be a legislator or any public official whatsoever. All districts must represent at least 800,000, but no more than 1.5 million people. And all congressional districts must represent full counties based on their proximity towards the others, regardless of land and/or population size. Now, representatives can only serve a max of 6 two-year terms, regardless of whether they are served consecutively or not. All votes will be counted on a county-by-county basis. And military service members who are deployed overseas, in addition to U.S. citizens who are currently living abroad, will vote for candidates in the state that they last resided in. Now, basically, like all the old requirements that like being at least 25 years of age, having been a citizen for the last 7 years, those things still remain the same. So again, without further ado, let's move on to the Senate. Now, the Senate will no longer be directly elected as per the 17th Amendment. I have gotten rid of that. And basically, we're going to be going back to a system that's similar to what we had before, but not exactly the same. So essentially, states will get 2 members appointed by the majority party in the legislature. God, I can't pronounce today. If the legislature is bicameral, then each chamber gets to appoint 1 seat. However, if both chambers are equally divided, then the 2 largest parties in the legislature combined will get 1 seat each. Now, if one chamber is just divided, then the party / coalition that controls the other chamber will also get that seat. So essentially they get both seats. Now, territories not recognized as states, again, like Guam, Puerto Rico, DC, they all get 1 seat in the Senate as opposed to 2. But their legislatures will also get to appoint those seats. Now, senators can only serve a max of 2 6-year terms. And unlike the Senate that we have now, all seats, instead of 1/3, will basically be up for reappointment every 6 years, similar to what we have in the House. Now, all state and territorial legislatures must appoint the senators at the last session before the senator's term expires, or during a special session that's being held concurrently with the House elections. So basically all states and territories are banned from appointing a reserve senator to wait in the wings until the incumbent guy leaves office. And if the state or territorial legislatures cannot appoint a candidate, if they can't, then the senators will be appointed by the governor within 14 days of the House elections. And if they can't do it, then the people will directly elect them within at least 15 days after the House elections, but no more than 40. And basically, all the old requirements, like being at least 30 years of age and being a citizen for at least 9 years, that doesn't necessarily change. So essentially, that's just kind of like the bare bones gist of the election / appointment requirements that I have for Congress in my new system. So essentially what we're going to be talking about next is going to be the powers and jurisdiction of the United States Congress. So until then, that's my brother's commentary, signing out.